Hi, welcome to another episode of Zazzle Chat. Today we are going to be introducing the Adventure Collection, part of the Zazzle Heart initiative. You've seen the products in the forums and on the site already, but today we want to go in a little more depth about the story behind Zazzle Heart and how this collection came about. So to help me introduce this collection, I have two special guests with me, Megan and Pete. Megan?
Hi, I'm the apparel category manager at Zazzle and helped kind of manage a lot of the moving components with launching this new collection.
My name's Pete. I'm a designer, and I did all of the drawings so that we could ensure all of the measurements and dimensions on everything were consistent and accurate and completely dialed in.
So first of all, let's take a step back and talk about what Zazzle Heart is. So Zazzle Heart is really Zazzle's social conscious business initiative. Today we are talking more exclusively about our partnership with Ubuntu though. So Pete, do you mind explaining to our designers what Ubuntu is?
So Ubuntu is an organization that has many areas of operation. Their primary purpose is to provide employment and local support in Kenya, specifically in Mai-Mai-Hu, in the Rift Valley with the Maasai people. They operate a school, they operate a cafe, they operate a production workspace. For this collection, they have partnered with a local leather producer who did all of the leather work in Kenya. And their goal is really to provide not just assistance, because it's not really assistance, it's providing a hand up instead of a handout. It's giving people the opportunity to lift themselves to a better place in life through the creation of amazing products rather than just dumping a whole bunch of free product on them, like let's say shoes, or dumping a bunch of free money on them, which doesn't really, is not tremendously helpful for the local economy. So it's a new way of helping, and I think it's really the best way.
So it's about teaching people to fish as opposed to just handing them fish.
Exactly, and you're not just teaching them to fish, you're helping to give them a vision for what development in that entire area could look like. So the cafe that they run is a model for what other businesses in the area could develop themselves into. It's a very popular tourist stop when they do tours. And by producing the products in Kenya, you're also stimulating all sorts of other infrastructure. I mean, because somebody has to drive the truck that picks up the materials and delivers them around. Somebody has to produce the leather. Somebody has to get the products to port. Somebody has to work on that boat. So it goes way beyond just I'm sewing something or I'm making a leather something. It's really a instrument of change that spirals like a hurricane into something bigger and bigger and bigger.
When we were talking about this the other day, you mentioned there's a documentary on Netflix that is popular, Poverty Inc.
I don't know if it's popular, but it's very good. It is called Poverty Inc., and it's all about how the foreign aid model that has persisted for the past 20 or so years is fundamentally broken, and it highlights in great detail how traditional social entrepreneurship, like let's say you have a business model where you buy shoes and a pair of shoes are donated locally to someone in need, those business models are actually extremely harmful to local merchants. So let's say as an example, if you're someone who makes shoes and all of a sudden a big truck comes and starts giving away shoes for free, nobody's going to buy your shoes. You're going to go out of business.
So Zazzle Heart, essentially, is very different than traditional charities and the fact that it's not even a charity.
No, it's not. It's not a charity at all. It's a completely new way of doing business, and that's exactly what it is. It's building a business and helping people build themselves at the same time.
And I think our hope is for consumers to feel excited about buying the products, not out of guilt, but out of celebrating actually what they're contributing to. A whole new way of looking at the infrastructure of Maimahiu, one specific village that is kind of being transformed today.
Yeah, and I don't think this is something that consumers can just will know just by buying the products, but hopefully we try to do a job of storytelling, and today we're going to explain some of the stories and the people that we saw throughout this process. But before we kind of go into the stories, we're going to show off the collection because we're really excited about it. There's 7 products within this collection. But before we get into kind of each specific product, can you tell us about the inspiration behind, like, why it's called the Adventure Collection, why the tan and green?
Sure. I think there's a number of reasons or a number of inspirations behind the collection. First was just we wanted to come up with some sort of concept that would really bring all products that we developed together. And for us, adventure was sort of like this journey that we went on when we met Ubuntu, met with their leadership team, and really started to brainstorm and figure out, wow, this is going to be an adventure of just making products in Africa and getting them to the US and making sure that they were high quality. The other piece was just kind of the landscape of Kenya and the Rift Valley is a big kind of ridge that cuts through Kenya from the north to the south. And if you step back and look at the landscape, it is really kind of monotone from the tan kind of dirt to the green of the trees. And so we really wanted that landscape to be embodied in the products that we developed.
And we showcase some of that, the landscape photos on the product page as well as the landing page, so you guys can take a look. And there's also, in addition to the colors, there's also like a stitch on all the products as well as a beaded mark. Pete, can you explain to us kind of the symbolism behind that as well?
The beading is something that is very special for the Maasai, and this beading is actually done by the Maasai people. It represents warmth and friendship. And these are values that they hold very dear.
Do you want to explain the leather journal and leather and canvas journals and showcase them?
So the journal is designed to fit an iPad mini in the left pocket. On the right side, it's designed with a notebook area. This also fits a full-size moleskin notebook. We have a pocket here for business cards. We have a pen loop. On the reverse, we have a full back design area. So when we say full back, that includes underneath this area and underneath this loop here. The canvas journal is the same design where it fits iPad mini. There's journal on the right, pocket, pen loop. And again, the design area is full back all the way up to the stitching. It's really unique. It's something that I've never seen before.
Next we have 2 totes. One is the canvas tote, and you'll see how big it is. You'll notice the front has this stitching on the side, and then the back is the designable area. And you can see that's like very substantial tote. You can carry a lot. The front, there's a pocket inside with the Ubuntu mark. And then on one of the straps, there is this leather mark with the bead, again, kind of tying the collection together. So this is the canvas tote. And then we have the leather tote, which is the most expensive product on the collection, but it's really, really well made. Again, it's a leather tote. So this is the front. The front has the stitching. There's the beaded mark again. And then there's a pocket inside, and it's really secure. We actually did a lot of testing to make sure like phones wouldn't fall out easy. It doesn't zip, but it's very secure, and it's kind of tied down by the stitching here. And then the back area is the designable area. So this whole area, again, is designable. It actually comes shipped with these straps off from Kenya, and we laser etch the products here in San Jose, and then we attach these two straps on at the end. So that allows for this whole area to be designed.
So the next product is our leather travel pouch. So this is the front side, again with the consistent diagonal stitch, the beaded mark, and a nice sort of leather pull as well. The back area is that full design space, which is great. This product, we actually spent quite a bit of time refining the size, so it's kind of perfect for your MacBook Air 11s. We also sourced a very nice kind of fluid YKK zipper and antique brass with a unique kind of donut slider there. The inside pocket would be great for a phone, or if you're traveling, perhaps your passport. But another really great product, can also double as maybe an oversized clutch. The next product is a keychain. So beautiful in design. Again, spent a lot of time trying to figure out how can you actually enable laser etching on the full design surface here. So actually, we sourced this to San Jose and actually end up finishing the stitching here, so you can design on that full leather component. We sourced a ring and clasp along with our Ubuntu partners to ensure that the actually antique design matched back with the rest of the collection here. So the final product is the iPhone sleeve. Again, you'll see consistent kind of diagonal design here, beaded mark, a little slit for credit cards, business cards, the Ubuntu stamp, as well as the back will be kind of a full clean design surface. So a quick glimpse at what a laser etched product would look like is right here on the left. So this is an old sample with different dimensions, but you can actually see quite good detail there.
And lastly, I think within the whole collection, you'll notice it's not like a print on demand like our other products. We really worked hard with engineering to laser etch them. So Pete, do you want to kind of explain the process of how it's actually laser etched?
Sure. So the visualization process for the laser etching for these products quantizes the color values in your image into two values, black and white. So what that means is either etched or not etched. Depending on which style you choose, you will either have solid contiguous areas of black, or you'll end up with a halftone pattern, and the halftone pattern represents shades of gray. But fundamentally, there is only an etched area and a non-etched area when these products are produced. And so what does this mean? If you'd like to look at a close-up of this, you'll see that certain types of design work better on different products, and maybe they don't work so well on other products. So for example, with the canvas, you'll see that the etched area actually turns out to be a lighter color than the canvas. So if you had, let's say, a photograph, and you tried to etch that on the canvas, it would actually turn out to be a negative image of that. So that's something to be aware of. On the leather, photographic images surprisingly turn out very nice, very predictably. They have great results. Overall, this is a tremendously unique process, and being able to design on these and basically see 99% of what you're going to get before the product is even produced is amazing. It's as far as I know, it's the first time this has ever been done.
And I would just add probably another design tip. We'd really encourage design still centered on the theme of adventure. So if it's a quote, if it's a landscape, is an animal, things that would embody the purpose of the collection would be ideal.
And for the benefit of the customer, probably avoid doing designs that have a lot of etched area. So, for example, on this canvas, line art works great, but if you have a design that is 90% black, that's not going to turn out so great because it's going to compromise the integrity of the substrate. It's not going to have a great hand when the customer receives it. It's not going to feel that great. And the same goes for the leather. So it's actually burning into the leather. The suede material feels very, very nice. And while the burned area doesn't feel bad, if the entire surface of the area is lasered, it's not going to be a great result. It's not ideal.
Again, this is like such an amazing collection. I think there's so much thought and detail that went into every piece within the collection. I know that you guys both worked really hard on it. You actually both went to Africa as part of this collaboration. Can you guys tell us a little more about the Africa trip? Some eye-openers, some stories about what you learned?
Sure. So we went for about a week and probably did 2 weeks worth of research and activity while we were there. But I came back and had a lot of questions around, like, was it a vacation? That's so awesome. But actually, it was quite a lot of work, I think, to realize how to understand the landscape. What are the challenges with sourcing? What are kind of the tricks of the trade of the leather maker versus what are the capabilities of some of the women that are hired to sew these products? And so it was really impactful for me just to kind of see that whole process and the challenges that lie within that, but also to see just how big Ubuntu is in Kenya and specifically in Mai Mahiu. I had no idea how much they were actually doing to really grow that community, and that was really impactful for me to see and get excited about making this collection the best it could be so we can continue to work with them in the future.
Pete, do you have any experiences you want to share about kind of going there and seeing the firsthand impact that this collection is having, but not just this collection, but like kind of Ubuntu having the impact on the entire city?
For sure. So there's a lot of wear and tear on the body. There's a lot of mental exertion going into not just designing the products, but hearing the stories of people that have not had the best chances in life. We heard stories of women that were being raped every day by their husband, or women that were outcast from their community because their child had deformity or a genetic issue, because people don't always understand how these things happen if there's not a great education system in place. And so there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of bad information, people make a lot of assumptions, and so it was really fantastic to see how people who have been ostracized from their community were given the opportunity by Ubuntu to lift themselves up out of the situation and actually become leading members of their community because they have productive work. They're able to buy property. They're able to build a house. They're able to buy animals like goats or cows, which that means something different than it does here. If you have cows, that is like having a brand new Cadillac. It's a symbol of wealth. It gives you food. It gives you all sorts of things. So it's really amazing that you hear these heartbreaking stories, and then you hear and witness the positive change that has been affected by this sort of activity. And you as designers are participating in this by designing for these products, by creating great designs, and by promoting these products. You are helping to affect actual, real social and economic change in these areas. It's really fantastic.
I think Megan mentioned this earlier, but this whole collection isn't about like trying to get you guys to feel sorry for these women to buy things. It's really about celebrating like the human spirit. We do have some stories on the landing page, And those are just a couple of people that we like handpicked, but they're all about empowerment and how this is really positively impacting their lives. I think, I've worked on a lot of projects at Zazzle. Megan has worked on a lot of projects, and Pete has worked on a lot of projects as well. But I think all three of us are really, this is like, it means so much more to us to work for a company that like really prioritizes this. It's not about profits. It's not about making money on this. We really wanted to make sure it's about the people in this. We're covering costs, but so that it can be sustainable, but it's not about profits. And like Pete said, we're really excited about this project. We're really excited about you guys participating in this project. Like, by participating, you're actively helping this community as well. And we're excited to be part of this social change and actually a measurable change. So, last words?
Yeah, I mean, thank you in advance for all the work that we know you'll do to help make this a success for us and for everybody.
It's all up to you guys now, so go for it.